Hey, what's up everyone? It's your friendly neighborhood YouTuber guys, and we are back here again with another action figure. No, we're not. We're not back here with another action figure review. Holy shit, what am I smoking on? We are actually back here with another Comic Garage subscription box. I've been kicking out a lot of action figure reviews, so I apologize for that. But yeah, it's hard to believe. It feels like I did another. It feels like I've done a Comic Garage just recently, but it was actually, yeah, at the end of December. January is almost over. Man, this January flew by fast as hell, man. And I can't believe it's the end of January already. It feels like I already did a subscription box to for the December subscription box. But this right here, guys, is the January subscription box. If you guys don't know what Comic Garage is a monthly subscription box of comic books of your choosing, specifically, not so much titles, but, well, I guess titles, yeah, Spawn, if you're interested in Spawn, if you're interested in DC, Marvel, specifically like X-Force or X-Men, then they send out what your preference is into a box. You can choose numerous titles. I think maybe like a dozen titles. I'm not really for sure. It's been a minute since I subscribed to Comic Garage. Well, I'm busy yapping away. I'm going to slice this open. So if you guys want to check out Comic Garage, you can always and find out what they're about. You can always go to www.comicgarage.com. They're not paying me to say this, of course, because I am a reviewer. So I haven't been pleased with a lot of the comic books I've been receiving, but last month kicked ass. Last month was probably the best Comic Garage box that they sent me ever. So they sent me a lot of cool titles that I really liked last month for the December subscription. So let's take this out the box. Here is the Comic Garage logo. There is their website if you guys are interested in checking that out. So far they've been knocking it out the park. The last two, not December, because December was a really awesome Comic Garage box, but the months before, November and I believe October, really wasn't that great. I'm just being honest. It really wasn't that great, and they kind of sent me some crappy things that I didn't really appreciate or didn't really like. So there is that. Here is the Comic Garage sticker that they always send me, which I have all the way up here on my board, right there. Okay, let's check this out. Let's see what they sent me. So, like I said, here's the Comic Garage logo, cardboard logo. Put that right there and take a look at some of the comic books they sent me. Alright, so the first one looks like an old comic book, which I'm pretty pleased. It's by Marvel Comics. Flip it over, and we have The Punisher 2099. Look at that, man. I love the artwork on this comic book, man. And it's number 3, The Punisher 2099, The Last Exit. That's beautiful, man. This artwork pops, dude. For my favorite era in comic books, from the 90s, early 90s, when the comic book crash happened, this was some of the best stuff, best artwork. They had some of the best artists. Who's the artist to this? I'm curious to know who the artist is. Let's see. Yep, Marvel Comics president Stan Lee, publisher Michael Hobson. Let's see, does it usually have it on the front or the back? I don't know, but it looks like artwork that I really like. So it's probably from one of my favorite artists. I don't know who the hell it is. And look, Fire in the Sky, opening March 12th, 1993. How many of you guys remember that movie? It still holds up, but I think this was based on the true story. But I think there was, I can't remember about the story. There was somebody that came forward and said that this was a hoax. But there was an individual that says no, it really happened. So who knows if this movie, the story, was actually based on a true story. But it was a good movie overall, especially for 1993 when it came out. It was pretty awesome, if you guys remember that. Okay, next one up. Looks like we have a newer one because it's 2013. So we have the Thunderbolts Infinity. Okay, I'm not too familiar with the Thunderbolts. Join the evolution or revolution. Or evolution, re-evolution. Yeah, I do like some of the newer comic book art. It's not as vibrant as some of the 90s art. But nonetheless. Alright, I'll definitely check out that. That's kind of a maybe pile. Got Milk. Here's another older comic book. As you can see, it's advertising the original Hulk movie that came out, I believe, in 2000? Or 99 or 2000? So we have the Uncanny X-Men, the Draco, Part 1. Flip through it, show you guys some of the images. There's Nightcrawler. Might have to take a look at this. It might be worth a read. Looks pretty cool. Put that off to the side. Here we go. Another older comic book, as you can see, because they're advertising Super Nintendo. So it's definitely from 96. And here is X-Men Unlimited, Fugitive from Space. I usually don't do a lot of the X-Men before, or excuse me, after 96. Because I think Jim Lee left around 95. And I'm more fond of the Jim Lee artwork. But hey, this looks pretty promising, so we'll give it a read and take a look at it. And yeah, it looks pretty awesome. It's a big, thick book too, so there's a lot of story to this. So hey, we might take a look at it. Okay, next one up, we have, what is this? Sci-Fi Channel, Saint Sinner. Let's take a look at this. So we have Ecstatics. Never heard of Ecstatics. Check out some of the artwork in the Ecstatics. Yeah, look at this. 11/22. I'm guessing this has to be from the early 2000s. Pierce Brosnan and Halle Berry. Okay. And flip this one over. Flashback Wolverine. It's hard to tell if this looks like a newer one or an older one. Co-starring Nick Fury and Carol Danvers. Super Spy. It looks like an older comic book. Yeah, it's $1.95, so that means it's from the 90s. I've never seen this one before. Look at that. Fighters Mega Mix. I remember that. Sega Saturn. It had a lot of virtual fighters on there. Okay, that's definitely a keeper. I love my 90s X-Men. Then this one is X-Force and Youngblood. Oh, awesome. Another crossover. That's really dope. X-Force and Youngblood. I love the crossovers that they send me, guys. That's really dope. The other one that they send me, who was it? It was Wolverine and Bad Rock crossover. That was a really dope crossover. So I love these crossovers because the artist who was responsible for this, who was the artist? Rob Liefeld, who drew Youngblood and who drew X-Force as well. So that's why there's a crossover and really nice artwork. Beautiful artwork in this comic garage. I love the artwork of Rob Liefeld, man. He's a very underrated artist. Definitely a keeper right there. A newer Uncanny X-Force, which I don't really care too much for the newer X-Force, but I'm always very open-minded, so I'm always want to take a look. The artwork is not as great. I mean, it's good, but it's not as great as some of the 90s artwork like I just showed you with Rob Liefeld. Storytelling is a little bit better. All right, and then we have another Cable. As you guys know, Cable was one of my my go-tos as far as choosing a title that I really wanted, and I really like Cable, and I like X-Force. That's why they send me a lot of Cable and X-Force comic books. Death of a Nation. Nice, nice. I'll definitely have to take a look at this. They've been sending me a lot of more newer Cable comic books, which I'm not really a fan of, because Cable is really weird, because the first issue came out, I believe, in like 96, 95 or 96, and then soon after that, Jim Lee left, and Cable was replaced by other artists other than, you know, your Jim Lee and Liefeld. So here's Swamp Thing. They always send me Swamp Thing, dude. I guess DC, I request DC, but they always send me Swamp Thing comic books. I don't really care too much. I love Swamp Thing, but I don't really care too much for the comic books of Swamp Thing. So I'm slowly building up my Swamp Thing collection because they keep sending me Swamp Things. Okay, and last but not least, we have Spawn 74. They've been sending me a lot of Spawn. They always send me a Spawn comic book, at least one Spawn comic book, ever since I've subscribed to their Comic Garage subscription box. And I do believe I have, what, 72, 73, 74, 75, and 76. And they've been mixing it up, so I have a lot of 70s Spawn figures, man. Salmon Twitch there. Yeah, that's definitely awesome. That's definitely a plus. Okay, so let's take a look at the comic books that I'm probably going to keep. Swamp Thing is definitely a plus. Spawn is definitely a plus. Swamp Thing, I don't know about that. That's kind of up in the air. Cable, Death of a Nation, maybe is a keeper. X-Force, not really for sure. X-Force Youngblood, yes. This one, definitely from the 90s, yes. The newer comic books I don't really care too much for. X-Men Unlimited, yeah, this might be a keeper. X-Men Uncanny, not really, not really. And then the Punisher. So we have, what, 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 5 not maybes, not reallys, and 6 keepers. So, on a scale of 1 to 10, with 10 being the highest, I'm going to have to give this a 6, being that they give us 11 comic books in every monthly subscription box. I'm going to give it a 6, guys, on a scale of 1 to 10. I really like this Punisher 2099. That's an awesome piece to add to my collection. X-Men Unlimited looks pretty awesome. I love the vintage Wolverine flashback. This definitely is a plus. X-Force Youngblood. Cable, Death of a Nation, definitely going to take a read. A glimpse at that, and of course Spawn 74 is definitely a read-through as well. Alright guys, so there was my Comic Garage January subscription box. Tell me what you guys think of this subscription box. Which titles are you looking forward to? Which ones do you like the most? And we'll go ahead and leave it at that. So tell me what you guys think of this subscription box, January subscription box. We'll go ahead and leave it at that, guys, and I just want to thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next review.